Oh, do I feel good today? What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge, your sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not even close. I am, of course, the coach, and I drive this bus, and we are coming off a very good day at the brand last night. Look at all those green check marks, 10-6. I don't care what day it is. That's a great day. Now, do not forget, we always, every single weekday, have two different shows. Today, it's Proppy. It's Uncle Dave. It is EC, who, by the way, might be a little bit tired because he was busy popping bottles last night as he got into the club for the very first time. Our props extravaganza today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. But when I think about certain days that get you out of bed in the morning, as a sports fan, take betting out of it. World Series game number 1. We've got, let me check my notes, 11 NBA games, 6 NHL games, soccer all over the world, 1 college football game. Translation, you need us. You want us. And if you are brand new to this show, you have arrived on the right day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big Pick Energy Friday. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, as Dana White says, now you know. Look who's here. The sniper is here. The counselor is here. My man Buckets is here. And oh, ladies and gentlemen, the reason the show is named this, and only Chip Patterson. Good morning, Chip.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Sniper. Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Snake. Good morning, Early Edge fam. Do I have a little bit of a battery in my back? Because Marty Nate just put it in the back of the net in overtime? You're daggone right. But look, I wanted to have a moment of appreciation, a moment of celebration, because for the last 12 years here at CBS Sports, I've been able to look across the pond and see my guy Sniper absolutely crushing it. He's part of this early wave. They brought us in. They didn't know what to do with us. We were bloggers, and no one knew what to do with bloggers. And I am so fired up that I've been able to spend this time working with Sniper, that he gets to share his expertise with you. So as we sit here, game 1 of the World Series, tip of the cap to my guy, Matt Snyder.
That's a great use of time, and we are so thrilled that both of you are on this team. Sniper, your reaction to that?
I just really enjoy the two-way street that is respect between Chip and I. That's all I need to say. I think we know what goes with that.
I love it. Now, Buck says my favorite show of the week. The other chat says we've got the absolute killers on today. Now, last night, if you just saw the recap screen, one of our incredible hashtag the crew members went 3-0. The man's an absolute savage. It doesn't matter the sport. So we do a little something here on the show called 15 seconds at the start of the show. Sia Nejad, you have more than earned it. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Coach. I'm happy to see the chat. I'm happy to see people benefiting off Virginia Tech, Trey Palmer. We had another Tampa prop in there too. Listen, it's 7 in a row for me this week, which is really cool because I had a bad Sunday, as all of you know. What's ironic about that is that bad Sunday included a Colin Morikawa live outright and a plus 1900 on Dallas Goedert, but my picks weren't very good. My kind of even money-ish type picks weren't very good. So I like to see that, like, when this happens, whether it's to Buckets or Sniper or Chip or anybody else, Coach, even you, we trust the process, we bounce back. And since that allegedly, bad day, which I'll call it a bad day, I've hit 7 in a row, hopefully 8 in a row tonight.
And Sox Nation says, Sia, thanks for VTech. Because of you, took them. If not, I would have taken Syracuse. 38-10 was the final. Sweat free. Very, very nice.
15-second Sia, as Cheesy said in the chat.
Oh, really?
Add another one to the list.
Another personality. We've got like 8 right now. Oh, I keep telling you. By the way, did you guys notice my new shirt today? I don't know if
Looks
you guys
good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good, right? Yeah. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. All right, we got a busy day at the brand, so we got to jump right into it. And tonight, it seems like an eternity since we've seen the Diamondbacks shock the Phillies, the Rangers winning 7 against the Astros. So here's the numbers for game number 1. And if you're a SportsLine member, there are tons of picks for this games at the site. Rangers favored minus 165 at home. If you want to take the Diamondbacks on the money line, you can do that at plus 140. The total is 8. Sniper, this is your world. You're going to start us off. Yeah. Are we fading or following the Rangers as a favorite tonight?
Let me just say this series is absurdly unpredictable. These teams are not that familiar with each other. They're both among the most streaky teams in baseball. The Diamondbacks were in first place going into July. Then they played like the worst team in baseball from the start of July to the middle of August. The Rangers looked like the best team in baseball through the middle of August. Then they completely fell apart. They lost 16 of 20 at one point. Yes, they lost 16 of 20 late in the season, and they're still in the World Series. So this could go totally hot and cold in the series. I hate the number being so high on the Rangers, but I do like the Rangers in this game in front of their home crowd. I would not be surprised to see the Diamondbacks win it. So this is not a strong feeling, but I'm going to go with the Rangers here. Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. I've got a little something for him later, and I'll give the floor up at this point.
No, quite the tease from the sniper. Now, Counselor, Steven in the chat says over 8 is the play. Would you attack the total?
I don't mind that. The thing is, early in the season, if you recall, I was certainly I think everybody was a big fan of Zach Gallen, but he's been pretty shaky in the last half of the season and certainly lately. So it's not that he's been a bad pitcher, but in terms of which pitcher do I think can be exposed, I do think it's Zach Gallen. I actually wouldn't bet the over of 8, although I don't mind it. That I would certainly lean that way, but I would probably go. There's two things here. First of all, Amags a few days ago gave out a pick I really like. Have the Texas Rangers winning game 1 and winning the series. I think it was like plus 130, plus 135. I think that's a really clever way to bet the Texas Rangers if you think they're going to win this series and you don't want to pay the minus 165 or minus 175, wherever it is, for them to win the game today. As far as this singular game, I'd actually go first 5 minus half. I don't usually like taking that minus half, which is why that's not an official play. I just love how Nathan Eovaldi has been pitching, and Zach Gallen's gotten touched up just enough, and this Texas Rangers lineup is so good top to bottom. I think that's where I'd probably go. Texas Rangers first 5 minus a half.
All right, very good. So we got 2 different ways to play it already. By the way, in the chat right now, we've got another member of the crew. Berg Bet is there, and he just put a nice little stat. These 2 teams met 4 times this season. The over is 3-1 in those 4 meetings. Berg Betts, any questions for him? Put them into the chat. He will answer them in real time. Chip, I'm coming to you. Fading or following the Rangers?
Oh, we're going over. We got ourselves around number 8. So I know that we got a little bit of a push insurance in our back pocket, but come on. It's game 1 of the World Series. Don't you want to root for dingers? I want to root for dingers. Don't you want to root for extra innings? I want to root for extra innings. I don't want to be sweating that late in the game. I want dingers, 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 dingers. We go over 8.
Just let that resonate for a second. Yeah, that got buckets right there. That got buckets right there. You got his ears going when you said dingers, dingers, dingers. Now, we're going to take a little left turn just for a second because this is a busy weekend across all sports. But at CBS, we are knee deep. We are neck deep in college football.
Saturday starts big, then SEC rivals clash. First at noon, the Hoosiers visit Happy Valley to take on the Nittany Lions. Then, will the Gators take a chomp out of top dog Georgia's march toward history? Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
The second game of that doubleheader on Saturday. Keep your eye on Georgia and Florida. Florida's getting better. 14.5. We talked about it on our college football mega preview with me, Chip, EC, and AB. You want to go back and watch it? It's in your feed live right now. Now, in honor of buckets on Big Pick Energy Friday, we would be remiss if we didn't play our little game of pick the home run prop. So here we go. Adolis Garcia. He's hit 5 home runs in the last 4 games. Corey Seager has been a beast. Mitch Garver, Christian Walker, Heno Marte. We've got a lot of good ones to choose from. But Sniper, I'm coming to you first. Where are we going here?
So if you remember back in the NLDS, I picked Trey Turner on a prop versus Spencer Strider, and Trey Turner was like 0-19 in his career against Strider. And I told everybody, but he hadn't struck out at all in his last 12 at-bats, and he hit the ball hard. He was just hitting it right at people, and we can't look at just the numbers. You need to watch the at-bats. You need to see what's going on here. Corey Seager has a very good batting average in his career against Zach Gallen, but he has no extra base hits, so a low slugging percentage. I'm going to go right back to the similar well here and say now he hits a home run. He's seen the ball well against Gallen in his career, especially this season. He has a lot of singles against him. He's hit the ball hard. He hasn't elevated it, but now's the time that he's going to elevate one and he's going to knock one out of the ballpark. So I'm going to go with Corey Seager here.
All right, Corey Seager, 1. Counselor.
Yeah, this is tough because I'm sorry for the delay. I'm kind of debating between Seager, Adalis Garcia, and someone who's not even on the board here, Evan Carter, who, if you recall from a few days ago, I kind of liked as a long shot MVP at plus 1,600. Again, I was kind of baking in the storyline there, him being a rookie and just being red hot since joining the Rangers. I'm going to have to land on Adalis Garcia at plus 210 because he's just been such a monster. And I don't know with this lineup that you can just pitch around Adalis Garcia. With that said, I think a sprinkle on Evan Carter at plus 550 is in order here.
Can I jump in on that with Counselor?
Please go.
Evan Carter is going to, in all likelihood, keep hitting third in that lineup. So he's got Marcus Semien and Corey Seager in front of him, get some guys on base. Adolis Garcia, who is 2 RBIs away from the all-time postseason record for RBIs, is hitting behind Evan Carter. So Carter's in that cushy lineup spot where he should see some pitches.
Hashtag educate and entertain. Sniper, thank you. Chip, where are we going here?
Safe play. We're going to go with Garcia. 7 home runs here in the postseason. You mentioned the 5 that have all been coming recently and the RBIs that are there. I just got to go with the hot bat there.
And that's who I'm going to go with as well. Now, buckets. Nick in the chat says, grab the dice.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Good.
What are we doing here, big boy? What are we doing?
Coach, whether we have 100 games being played or 1 game being played, I am going off the board. And first and foremost, I just want to say I have the Diamondbacks winning the World Series. So I got to back the best postseason hitter for the Diamondbacks, who surprisingly is not on the board. I'm going with Alek Thomas, who is currently priced at plus 800 over on MGM. He has 4 home runs in his 12 matches played in the postseason. He didn't have a great season by any means, but in the postseason, he's been popping off. So I believe that he will absolutely go the yard. And that, everybody, is why they call me the Sniper. Thank you, Coach.
They call you the Sniper?
Nobody's ever called you that.
No, nobody's ever called you that. And by the way, popping off, we're popping off.
It's kind of like dinger. It's a baseball term.
Yeah, see,
it's not though.
You see what Snake just did right there? He's like, move on, move on. All right, new BetMGM customers can sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you will receive $200 instantly in bonus bets, regardless of your wager's outcome, with bonus code EDGE200. Ryan says buckets is the only reason I watch.
Whew.
Interesting, Ryan.
Snake. Is that a family member?
All I know is apparently he wants a one-way ticket to the biggest block party in sports betting, if you ask me, but that's just me. All right, it's time for our board. And yesterday, our board was nice at 10-6, but it's not about what you did yesterday. It's about what you do today. So I know we've got a busy weekend in the footy buckets, so I'm going to allow you to go first, and I cannot wait to see what you have for us today, and if you can spell the teams as well. Please go.
Well, Coach, as you know, we have all of the top leagues playing today. We've got Bundesliga, Serie A, Premier League, and we also have La Liga. So let's go ahead and start with a match in the Slovakian Super League between FK Železnjaren Podbrezova and MFK Dukla Banca Bystrica. And I know what we're all thinking. All of us are thinking, buckets, are we really about to bet on the SSL without betting on Slovan Bratislava or Spartak Trnava? And I'm going to tell you this. Yes, we are, because those are not the high-scoring clubs this season. Dang it. Podbrezova and Banca Bystrica are the highest-scoring clubs right now in all of Slovakia. Podbrezova has seen 43 goals in their opening 11 matches, and Banca has seen 37. These are 2 of the top-scoring teams, not only in the Slovakian Premier League, but in the entire European leagues as well right now. 2 of the best offensive teams and also 2 of the worst defensive teams, which means you all know exactly where we're going with this one. A same-game parlay action taking both teams to score and over 2.5 goals sitting at minus 125 here. And be careful, this match starts at 11:30 Eastern, so you want to get these tickets in now before that game starts and before those lines move. And for our second party at the pay window, Coach, we're going for that matchup between Midtjylland and Lyngby FK. And you might all remember Midtjylland because they cashed us a nice little team total ticket earlier Monday this week. However, we're switching it up this time because Lyngby is a bogey team to Midtjylland. We're taking both teams to score, sitting at -105 in this one for the 1 p.m. Danish match, because for whatever reason, no matter how good Midtjylland is, they cannot stop Lyngby from scoring. When they played in the reverse fixture earlier this season, Midtjylland was a -800 favorite, and they lost that match 3-1. Lyngby scores against Midtjylland. It's what they do. They might not win, but the fact that we can get both teams to score at almost even odds, yes, please, coach.
I cannot believe that I'm getting ready to say this. But do you want to do the work?
No.
That work? No.
But to be fair, half of the work is me sitting in the mirror practicing the pronunciation of those teams and then not getting it right at all. So,
But that's the work I don't want to do. That's why I said no right away.
Why do we all want him to roll video on the practice of said mirror work?
Yes.
By the way, our girl Rebecca says, "How did you know what I was thinking, Buckets?" Wow. Interesting. You're in everybody's head. How about Josh? He says, "God, this show is the best. From you all picking me up from a terrible Sunday and making it all back this week. Thanks in a big part to the counselor. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Josh, thank you for that note. By the way, if you haven't hit the like button, it really helps the show grow. Could you do that for me today, please? I would really appreciate it. Now, Buckets, real quick, that first one, all kidding aside, what was that league again?
That's the Slovakian Super League, coach.
Slovakian Super League. All right. Thank you very much. Now, I said at the top of the show that there is one college football game. And yesterday, as I had to go sit through my daughter's incredible Shakespeare play at the high school that I loved every second of.
Right.
Obviously.
Had to. That I loved so much. I'm so happy to be there.
The nice thing was that Virginia Tech was already up 30-3 by the time I walked in the door, and I didn't even have to worry about looking at the score because they have no Wi-Fi because the teacher stinks. Tonight, I'll be right back in that auditorium again, and I'll be watching that damn thing again. So I need something, Sia, that is sweat-free in college football. Can you help me out?
Well, much like Romeo and Juliet, Coach, I'm going to break your heart here, because the one thing you don't want me to do on my way to 8 in a row is take an under. And so it's not going to be sweat-free. You're going to have to sweat this one out the entire game. I've got the under tonight at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, FAU and Charlotte. This is a pretty easy analysis. It doesn't mean it's going to be an easy cover, but the analysis is pretty easy. First of all, Charlotte's hit their under this under of 43 in its last 4 games. FAU in 2 of the last 4 games, it's hit this number's under. But I'm not going to just rest on that. I'm not going to rest on the trends. The reality is both of these offenses from an efficiency standpoint are really, really bad. In FAU's case, it's partly because they lost their starting quarterback a long time ago, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, Casey Thompson. They've got their backup in. They'll still try to chuck it around. But the thing is, Charlotte, while their offense is terrible, their defense is really good. They've got some legit guys on defense. And if you watch this game, I think you're going to be really impressed, which is part of the reason why I kind of liked Charlotte in this game. It opened as they were 6-point underdogs at home. Now they're like 3.5. It's not that I've lost a key number. I'm just not really interested in getting that number versus what I could have gotten. So I'm going to go with the under here in the 43 because, again, these offenses are really plotting. They're not going to be able to move the ball very well. We're going to see a lot of punts. The only thing that can destroy this is maybe some turnovers and some short fields for some of the teams. But still, even in those cases, I think we'll see more field goals and touchdowns. Give me the under. I know it's tough. It's tough to watch these under games, but give me the under 43.
Well, that's a nice thing, counselor. I can't watch this. I can't watch this at all.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's nice. It's an under that you don't have to sweat because you're not going to be able to watch it.
Everybody go watch a
game.
Shakespeare play.
Now, I will say this, like all the dads that were in their auditorium last night, everybody like rushed outside. Like as soon as the lights came on intermission, you saw all these dudes running outside. It was hilarious. And some moms too.
Checking fantasy football scores. When the Bills are playing, you've got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs on so many teams.
Oh,
yeah.
I had the Bucks plus 9.5. It was 24-10. I was like, what are we doing? All right. Now, I apologize. Got off track. We do that from time to time. I already told you about college football this weekend. Well, Sunday, we have 2 shows. At noon Eastern, we break down every single 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game here on the Early Edge. 7:30, we have primetime Early Edge, breaking down Sunday night football. But on CBS, we have a whole slate of games after our first show. Snake?
We can't wait for a showdown in the Steel City.
Let's go!
and an epic matchup out west. All hail Sunday. The NFL is on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
All right, we've got a full slate in the NHL today, a full slate in the NBA today. So we have one pick from each league, courtesy of the site. Our man, Matty Severance, he's on the Blues, excuse me, and the Canucks under 6.5. It's all about the goaltending here. They flipped it. I'm talking about the Blues. So their number one goaltender, Jordan Bennington, will be in net tonight. Vancouver, they've got a really good goaltender in Thatcher Demko. He's been really good too. We're going to go under 6.5 there. And then in the NBA, I told you guys the other day, I love betting overs in the first month. Legs are fresh. Guys are really motivated to play. And we've hit almost every single over for the first 2 or 3 nights of the season. Tonight, we're going back to the well. Clippers, Jazz, over 228.5. They both played one game. Clippers, 234 in their first game. The Jazz, 244 in their first game. This one just lines up nicely for the over at 228.5. All right. 2 rock stars down, 2 rock stars to go. Sniper, as I look at my notes, big boy, and I know where your mind is at today, and I like it. Floor is yours.
Well, since spelling and pronunciation have been the theme today, let's start with Nathan. We can skip the Nathan part. I mean, come on. Eovaldi, but the O is silent. Don't say Eovaldi. Don't be one of those. It's Evaldi. Nathan Evaldi. I'm going to go over 5.5 strikeouts here. Several reasons for that. First off, he hasn't faced the Diamondbacks in years. And if you looked at the individual matchups, only Longoria, Pham, and Gurriel have seen him much at all. And most of those matchups were Gurriel and Longoria from way back when in the AL East. So that, that's a long time ago on Longoria. That was a long time since he's been on the Rays. So they're not familiar with his stuff. That means if he's on, and I believe that he will be, there's going to be a good chance for a lot of swings and misses. He has a career 2.87 playoff ERA with exactly 1 strikeout per inning. That's 69 strikeouts in 69 innings, which is nice. Diamondbacks have struck out 9.67 times per game in the playoffs, so a little over 1 per inning. If I think we're going to get 5 or 6 innings, we should get at least 6 strikeouts here from Evaldi. Mm-hmm. Something to keep in mind is where Bruce Bochy is different than a lot of other playoff managers is he will let Evaldi work out of trouble. Remember in that game in Houston, game 2, when the Astros got the bases loaded and nobody out. It was the 5th inning. A lot of managers would have bailed and gone straight to their bullpen. Bochy let Evaldi stay out there. He struck out 2 and then got a weak ground out to end the inning. And that was an Altuve strikeout and Bregman ground out. So it's not like he was facing the bottom of the order or anything. I believe Bochy will let him work out of trouble today, knowing his bullpen is weak, knowing this might be a really long series, not wanting to wear out his few reliable bullpen arms. So you could take a look at the over outs prop on that if you want as well. That's all I've got on that one. Also, I wanted to look at the Rangers offense some. Both Marcus Semien and Corey Seager have very good numbers against Zach Gallen in their career, and a lot of it is recent this year. So that's when I think it matters. Semien in his career against Gallen, 5 for 8, 2 doubles. This season, he was 4 for 6. And the last 2 times he faced him, it was August 22nd. He had a single and a double, both hit very hard. He's in the leadoff spot. Seager, Carter, Garcia behind him. I am going to go over 1/2 of a run, so he just needs to score once. It's -115. The hits plus RBIs plus 1 runs, I usually love that prop, but it's juicy. And so I would rather just say let's get that run scored. In the last 2 games, he's been on base 6 times, and he scored once each time. I think he's starting to turn it around after being slow throughout the rest of the playoffs. So I am on Semien today, as well as Evaldi. Remember, not Eovaldi, Evaldi.
Sniper, you know how much I respect you, right? And everybody, well, Chip and Sia and myself, we were listening to your incredible take.
That's everybody.
Correct. Because the other person on the show today was writing this while you were giving us your 2 plays. Little bonus looks for the chat. Girona plays today. I'm taking a sprinkle on them to score 2 in the first half at plus 290. He did not stop there. Feels like Girona money line and Spurs money line are both pretty tasty today. Was he not entertaining you enough, Buckets?
I would like the chance to defend myself, but it starts with me asking a question here, Coach.
Okay.
Sniper, my the person that I call one of my closest and best friends, a quick question for you. What team does Evaldi play for?
Rangers.
Did you say that? He's a Rangers player?
Hey, he got the pronunciation right. So he was like,
So it shows I was listening. But what I want to say
We're
with
good.
that is, Sniper, is, you might remember that soundboard, is that you beat me in a showdown with that Bryce Hawker walk earlier this season. Do you remember that?
Harper. I know it's a very uncommon name, so I can understand why you couldn't remember it.
Well, I want to show my appreciation for you by telling you that I think Evaldi will not get over 5.5 strikeouts here because I've got the Diamondbacks winning. So maybe I disrespected you in the chat, but I'm also going to disrespect you with the showdown if you are up for that.
Well, I mean, boy, that's really tough given your 4-24 record in showdowns. Boy, I don't know what I'm going to say to that. Snake, play the music.
It's gonna be a showdown.
Oh my
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Oh my God. Every reaction was priceless. Counselors doing this. Chip's big down there doing chipolytics things. Oh my God. Sniper says your record of 4-24.
One quick correction. That doesn't really help me. No, 5-26.
Oh,
5-26.
Oh, that's right, because the Brosco.
I beat Danny in embarrassing fashion. Yeah,
I wasn't even trying to exaggerate. I forgot about that one. So my bad on that.
He's feeling himself right now, Sniper. He's really feeling himself.
He's on fire.
Wow. Going after the Sniper live on the show. Taking your life into your hands right there, big boy. Taking your life into your own hands. All right. Really good show so far. But you guys know you come here for a reason. You guys know on Wednesdays you watch our college football show for a reason. One of those huge reasons is the man who is our anchor on Big Pick Energy Friday. Chip Patterson, you're up.
Man, I've been telling y'all how smart Sia is. All right, you don't get to the levels that Sia has reached without being brilliant, because it seems like he and I are just in lockstep. Like, I mean, we're just in synchronized. We're the Temptations out here with our spins and everything, because I'm going after the same game. We only got one game, but it's still very similar handicap. So FAU, Charlotte, I agree with him. Initially wanted to jump on Charlotte. I see that line drop. And these are valuable points that we are crossing as we move all the way down to 3.5, because I also think it's going to be a low scoring game. He's on the under. I'm going to get more specific. FAU team total under 23.5. This Charlotte team was thrown through the fire. They had to play Maryland. They had to play Georgia State. They had to play Florida. They had to play SMU. I mean, they really had to get beat up along the way. So what's happened now that they've started playing similar conference competition? Navy only scores 14 points. ECU only scores 7 points. And meanwhile, FAU against FBS opponents, with the exception of one game, hasn't scored more than 20. So what makes me think that FAU, which has not, except for playing against South Florida, scored more than 20 points going up against a Charlotte defense that is the best part of that Niners team at home in Jerry Richardson Stadium? What makes me think that the Owls are all of a sudden going to have one of their best offensive outputs of the season? I don't think so. We ride with Biff Poggi. FAU team total under 23.5. And one of my favorite things about the 2023 season is that I do get to spend every single Wednesday with you unveiling a full card, robust set of picks. But sometimes I need to keep something in the pocket, because there is no way I was going to let EC hear me praise the Arizona Wildcats, because I do think that Arizona plus the points is a great play. I think that if you even want to sprinkle that money line, this is an upset spot for an Oregon State team that when they leave Corvallis and go on the road, that defense gets a little bit leaky. They let Cal score 40 points on them when they were away from home. Oregon State is going to find itself like so many Pac-12 North teams. I know we don't have divisions anymore, but they're still the Pac-12 North teams. They get down to the desert. They look at Washington. Ask them how it went in Arizona and Arizona State. Oregon State's about to find out too. Noah Fafita has limited the turnovers for this Arizona offense. Upset spot for the Beavers that are currently number 11 in the polls. So we'll go Arizona plus the 3.5 late night. And don't tell EC, please.
The nice thing is, Chip, that we don't have to worry about him watching right now. He was at the club last night till like 3 a.m. and like they were carrying him out as he had Josh Allen scoring the first touchdown of the game for primetime early edge. So now Coach Phil is the only one not in the club. I don't even know how Sunday's going to go. But right now, EC is just sawing logs. He is just sleeping like a baby. So he did not see or hear this pick. Thank goodness. Stupid Arizona shirt he always wears. All right. Yes, Counselor, please go.
Well, Chip and I really are in lockstep because I'll say right now, I love fading the Oregon State quarterback, just like when he was at Clemson. I like Arizona plus 3.5 there. So I'm in on that. I'm definitely going to be playing that. And by the way, shout out to the chat real quick, because after Buckets went some time ago, Brian K said in the chat, do you want to do the pronunciation? It's good stuff. It's just good stuff from the chat, period.
I tell you what, so many t-shirt ideas that we've got them down. Got them all down. We're getting closer. I know it takes a little while, but we're getting so close. I can't wait for the Sniper t-shirt, the Buckets t-shirt, the Chip t-shirt, the Counselor t-shirt, maybe a sweatshirt too. You never know. You never know. God, today feels good. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here's a recap courtesy. My man, the Snake, always on the ones and the twos. Sia Nejad. We're going to go FAU Charlotte under 43, minus 110. Not for the faint of heart. Then Buckets. We're going to go Milland, Lingby. Both teams to score, minus 105. Then to the Slovakian Super League. Both teams to score and over 2.5, minus 125. Then from SportsLine itself. Blues, Canucks, under 6.5. That's courtesy of Matty Severance. And then the Clippers and Jazz, over 228.5. October, November, really good spots for overs before players start to get hurt, start to get tired. Then the Sniper, 2 big plays from World Series game number 1. Nathan Eovaldi, over 5.5 Ks, plus 120. Showdown with Buckets. He's got the other side. Then Marcus Semien, over a half a run. All this means is if he scores, is if foot hits the home plate, we cash. And then Chip, 2 plays, 1 tonight, 1 tomorrow. FAU team total under 23.5. You heard the Nuggets. Haven't even scored over 20 all season. Then Arizona, plus 3.5 as well. Do not forget, later today, 4 p.m. Eastern time, it is our Week 8 NFL Props Extravaganza with Proppy, Uncle Dave, and EC will be out of bed, I promise you, and will be live on that show. So my last thing to say to all of you, be kind to one another. Pay it forward. Go out into the world today and be productive. And remember this, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Big Pick Energy Friday tickets straight to the pay window or the party at the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Chip, Buckets, Counselor, and my man, the Sniper. Don't forget about the Snake, always making the show look like $1 million. I am the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here on the Early Edge. Good luck.